couple not speaking the same language just seemed fascinating to me as a cinematic device.
We're here for Wolfman, your new horror movie. And as the title suggests, it's about a werewolf or werewolves. Mm-hmm. But that alone would be a little bit too boring, wouldn't it be? So in your own words, what is the movie about besides turning a man into a monster?
To me, it's about a family who are struggling with, the stresses of modern life. Their marriage is a bit frayed. Blake, the character played by Christopher Abbott, is trying to be the best father he can. And he's struggling against his instincts, the way he was parented. And then they decide to move their life out of the city to rural Oregon, and things go awry. Things go badly.
At a certain point during the story, the communication between Charlotte and Blake gets quite difficult, a lot harder. And I found this concept to be fascinating. Now, how did you come up with that? And does it look like you imagined it in the first place in the movie?
It does look like how I imagined it to be. I'm really happy with where we ended up. And that idea, I kind of came up with it pretty early on. When the idea of making this movie was first presented to me, I just was pacing around like I always do when I'm writing a film, trying to think of like what are some aspects of this movie or this story that are unique. And that was the first one that kind of popped into my head, was this idea of a couple not speaking the same language. And that just seemed fascinating to me as a cinematic device, exploiting that. You're always looking for something in a movie that you can exploit for the audience, for their sake, something they haven't seen before, and you want to get them into theaters. So that felt like a really interesting direction, and I just kept running with that, and that stayed all the way through every draft of the script, that aspect of the film.
Okay. And then on to the last question. You did The Invisible Man. Now you did Wolfman. Which classic movie monster would you like to revisit next? And don't say there are a lot of good ones.
There are a lot of good ones. People have been asking me this. I think, well, I'll tell you what, I don't have any plans to make a film, but I do love the character of Jekyll and Hyde. I love Dracula, but I feel like that story's been told so many times by great filmmakers. I feel like Jekyll and Hyde is something that is a bit, maybe it just hasn't been done enough. So yeah, there you go.
Or it hasn't been done in a long time. I don't remember the last time.
Yeah, it's been a while, and it's a story that's ripe for reinterpretation as well, because it's dealing with this duality and the characters. The villain and the hero of the story being the same person. So, yeah, that would be an interesting one.